Tenebrous Wings is the second full-length album from Norwegian thrash metal band Shakma. Now, I think back in 2018 when their first record released, I was more prone to call them more of a black thrash metal band. But as I really listened closer, took a bit of a sharper look at what they did, it is clear that they're leaning much more towards just the classic thrash metal sound of something circa 83 to 87 that is the evil thrash metal variant. And what I mean is like the big reference here is Torment and Fire era Sacrifice and Show No Mercy era Slayer. So keep that in mind while we listen to this first song and get the wheels turning a little bit. So outside of Chile's thrash metal scene, Norway has really been the leader for the last 10 years. Bands like Necromanthean were right out the gates a great band who've kept up with it in better than most. And, Nocturnal from Germany is also quite a standout. But Inculter, Toxic Death, these bands have kind of picked up the ball in the last several years, and this band weren't quite there on their debut. It was good, it was ready to go. It was a little bit too focused on trying to do too much, and this second record pulls it back in, cuts right to the riffs, focuses on the riffs, obsesses over the riffs, gives you a bunch of variations on a theme, and attacks it for 30 minutes. And done. That's really what this record is. And at first I was like, well, that's pretty simple. That's a strong record. I appreciate that. And as I listened to it more, it became that kind of obsessive, like every half an hour that clipped past while I was doing something else or while I was focusing on it, it didn't really matter. I was getting a lot out of it in the way that I do when I listen to classic thrash metal. That's one of my own obsessions. That's kind of the important note here. Anytime I review a thrash record, is that's my major obsession in music. I love doom metal and death metal and all these various types of metal, but it's thrash metal that I'm most passionate about. And this record is just a great example of the right way to do it, even if it is blunt edged. It is pretty repetitive in terms of the vocal cadence used. It does kind of do that Slayer thing of, there's a couple examples in thrash that use this sort of sound, especially Polish thrash metal, where they're kind of barking out commands, and that's kind of where this leads in terms of the strongest songs on here. That they're sort of giving Satan's commands over the top of the hill, and that's great for me. I really enjoyed it. Very simple appeal here, very high score for me, and that's part of my own fandom. So temper that for your own expectations. You might just find it an average thrash metal record with a cool evil theme or whatever, but for me, this is awesome, and I would recommend it. Some more detail in the review, so check that out, and just go listen to the record otherwise.